Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. The afternoon sun streamed through the windows of the orphanage, casting a golden glow over the bustling activity within. However, you stood in the hallway, arms crossed and jaw tight, replaying the earlier argument with the children in your mind. The words had stung more than you wanted to admit, and the guilt of raising your voice lingered heavily. You didn't notice Arlecchino approach until she was right beside you, her eyes scanning your face. "What happened?" she asked, her tone calm but laced with concern. And you sighed, leaning against the wall. "I snapped at them," you admitted. "They weren't listening and I lost my temper." Her brows furrowed as she crossed her arms. "And what were they doing?" "They were arguing about who was supposed to. Well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but they were doing something. They wanted to help you in that mission you talked about. So, in their efforts, something had gone wrong and they were just trying to pin the blame on somebody now." You explained, rubbing the back of your neck. "I feel awful." Arlecchino's gaze softened, and she placed a hand on your shoulder. "You care about them, Ryan. And sometimes that means you get frustrated. It doesn't make you a bad person. You're only human." "But what if I scared them? They've already been through so much. They don't need me adding to it," you asked, your voice cracking slightly, and she tilted her head, her usual stern demeanor giving way to a rare gentleness. "You think I don't lose my patience with them sometimes?" she asked, a small smirk playing at her lips. "They can be a handful, but they know you love them. At the end of the day, that's what truly matters," she says. And you look at her, surprised. "You really think they know that?" Arlecchino nodded firmly. "Of course. You've been nothing but kind and supportive since you got here. One argument will not change all of that. They may seem upset at the moment, but they're only children. It's expected." You let out a shaky breath, her words beginning to ease the knot of anxiety in your chest. I don't want to make them hate me." She stepped closer, her hand moving to cup your cheek. "You could never make them hate you. You've given them warmth, well, you've given them love, and they see that. Trust me." Her unwavering conviction in her words made you feel lighter, as if the weight of your guilt was slowly lifting. "Thanks. I needed to hear that," he said softly. "That's good. Now let's fix this. You're going to talk to them, and I'll back you up if you need it," she replied, her lips twitching to a faint smile. And you hesitated, but her steady presence gave you the courage to nod. "All right, let's go." Together you walked to the common room, where the children were gathered. They fell silent as you entered, their wide eyes watching you nervously. Linny and Lynette stood observing from afar. After all, they weren't really the ones in trouble, or the ones that argued with you. They were simply interested in how you would deal with it. And so, taking a deep breath, he knelt down a little bit. "I want to apologize. I shouldn't have yelled at you earlier. I was upset, and I know it's not an excuse. You began, her voice steady but soft. And just as you were about to continue, the children just looked at you. And that's when it dawned on you what their expressions were like. Half of them were surprised, the other half was relieved. We're sorry too. We didn't mean to make you mad, one of them said. You didn't make me mad. I'm really sorry I reacted that way. You said. I let the frustration get the better of me. But I want you to know that no matter what happens, I love all of you. And that will never change. And I mean it. For every single one in here. You said as you looked at the little children gathered around you. And Lynette just smiled, turning around and leaving. After all, that was all she really needed to know. Arlecchino, who had been standing silently by her side, finally spoke up. Listen to what they're saying. Lion loves you, even when things get tough, and so do I, she said, telling those words to the children, perhaps in a hope to make them more aware of just how much you care about them. The younger one looked up to you, his eyes big and filled with trust. We love you too, he said gently, and his voice was barely above a whisper. And your chest ached with emotion as you opened your arms. Come here, you said, and they didn't hesitate, all of them. And Arlecchino knelt beside you, her hand. Perhaps you'll find that having me in your corner is advantageous. Her words lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken promises and challenges, and you held her gaze, feeling the weight of her interest settle over you like a shroud. But instead of fear, you felt a strange sense of excitement. I'll keep that in mind. She smiled, her crimson eyes glinting with something dangerous.